What if the love of your life walked back into your world after years of silence? What if, in the moment you thought everything was perfect again, something in their eyes told you that the past wasn't truly over? What if they came back not to heal the wounds, but to reveal secrets that might break you? Can love survive the truth? Hi, I'm Sophia, and I'm 32. I've spent the last 5 years building a life I never expected to create, owning and running a small cafe in the heart of the city. It's not glamorous, but it's mine. Every morning I wake up, pour my first cup of coffee, and greet the world with a smile. I tell myself I've moved on. I tell myself I'm happy. But the truth is, I'm still haunted by the ghost of a man I can't forget. A man who left me without a word. A man who walked out of my life without explanation. His name? Max. Max was everything. He was the kind of man who made you feel alive, like you were the only one in the world. His laugh was infectious. His smile made you forget your troubles. And the way he looked at me made me feel like I was worth something more than I ever believed possible. We were perfect together, or so I thought. The world felt like it was ours to conquer, and for a while it was. But then, just like that, he disappeared. No goodbye, no phone call. He left in the middle of the night, leaving nothing but a note on the kitchen table that simply said, "I'm sorry, but I have to go. You'll be better off without me." The words still sting. Better off without me. Was that really how he saw me? Did he ever love me at all? Or was I just a momentary distraction in his life? For years, I carried that pain with me. I threw myself into my cafe, into my work, trying to fill the empty space he had left behind. But nothing ever felt the same. Every time I thought I had moved on, the memories would come flooding back: his touch, his scent, the way his eyes would crinkle when he smiled. I would see couples walking hand in hand on the street, and a part of me would break all over again. I started dating again, but it was never the same. There was always a part of me that wasn't fully there. A part of me that still longed for Max, even though I knew deep down I could never trust him again. Developed the situation. And then, one rainy afternoon, he walked into my cafe. I had just finished brewing the last of the morning coffee when the doorbell above the entrance chimed. I didn't think much of it at first. It was just another customer, another face in the crowd. But then I looked up. There he was. Max. I froze. For a moment, everything else in the world disappeared. The rain tapping against the windows, the soft hum of the cafe's music, the smell of freshly ground coffee. It all faded into the background. It was as if time itself had stopped. My heart pounded in my chest, a mix of shock, confusion, and something else I couldn't quite identify. He looked different, but it was him. His hair was shorter, more refined, his face more mature. The carefree youthfulness I remembered was replaced by a seriousness in his expression one I had never seen before. His eyes, however, still held the same warmth, the same familiarity. But there was something else there too. Something guarded. For a moment, neither of us moved. I stared at him, and I could see the pain in his eyes. He seemed almost hesitant, unsure of how to approach me, like he wasn't sure if I would want to see him. He opened his mouth to speak, but the words didn't come. Instead, he looked down at the floor, running a hand through his hair. "Sophia," he finally said, his voice cracking as if he hadn't used it in a long time. "I know I don't deserve this, but I need to talk to you." My breath caught in my throat. Talk. After all these years, he wanted to talk. I wanted to say something. Anything. Tell him to leave. Ask why he came back. Demand an explanation for everything, but the words wouldn't come. All I could do was stand there, frozen in time, watching him stand before me. a ghost from my past. I didn't know what to feel. Part of me wanted to rush into his arms, to forgive him instantly, to believe that all those years apart could be erased in an instant. But another part of me, the part that had learned to survive without him, was terrified of what he might say. What if there was more to his leaving than I ever realized? What if the truth was something I wasn't ready to hear? Max took a step closer, his eyes never leaving mine. There was that familiar warmth again, but something else, something harder flickered behind them. I never stopped thinking about you, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. I know I hurt you, and I don't expect you to forgive me. But I need to explain ... I need you to understand. I shook my head, struggling to keep my composure. You don't just get to come back, Max. Not after all these years. You disappeared. Without a word, without a reason. You didn't even give me a chance to understand why. Max's face crumpled with regret. I know. And I wish I could change it. I wish I could take it all back. He looked down at his hands, his fingers twisting together nervously. But I can't. All I can do is tell you the truth. The truth. The words I had waited to hear for so long. But now that they were finally here, I wasn't sure I was ready to listen. Max stood just a few feet away from me now, his eyes never leaving mine. He looked older, more worn, but there was something undeniably familiar about him. The way his gaze softened when he looked at me, the quiet sadness behind his eyes. It all felt like a tidal wave crashing over me. I couldn't decide if I wanted to run or throw my arms around him and beg him to take me back. But I couldn't. Not yet. Not after everything. I didn't think you'd even want to see me again, Max said softly, his voice carrying the weight of years of regret. And I had to come. I couldn't keep running from the truth. I took a shaky breath, trying to steady myself. This wasn't just any reunion, it was a reckoning. A moment where everything I thought I knew about love, about betrayal, was about to be shattered. Why now, Max? My voice was steadier than I felt. Why after all this time? Why come back when I've spent years trying to heal from the pain you left behind? Max stepped closer, his eyes searching mine for some kind of sign, some indication that I was ready to hear him. But I wasn't, not yet. Every instinct screamed for me to shut him out, to tell him to leave and never come back. But another part of me, maybe the foolish part, wanted to know why he'd left me, and more importantly, why he was back. I was selfish, he said, his voice thick with emotion. I thought I was protecting you. I thought if I stayed, the people I was involved with would hurt you. I couldn't risk that. I couldn't risk losing you because of my mistakes. My heart twisted. Involved with people? He was talking about something more than just a simple misunderstanding. This wasn't about a fight or a bad moment. It was something far darker. I don't understand, I whispered, the confusion in my voice growing. What do you mean? What people? Why didn't you tell me everything when you left? Why leave me in the dark for so long? Max's eyes shifted, and I could see the conflict in them. He was fighting with himself, with his own guilt and shame. I couldn't risk dragging you into it, he said quietly. I couldn't let you get hurt because of me. You didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve the chaos that was swirling around me. I stood there, my mind racing. The chaos that was swirling around him. Max had never been the type of person to get involved in anything dangerous. So why now? Why had he kept me in the dark all these years? You still haven't told me anything, I said, my voice rising with frustration. What happened, Max? What did you get yourself involved in? And why couldn't you trust me enough to tell me the truth back then? Max opened his mouth, but no words came out. He clenched his fists, looking down at the floor, clearly struggling to find the right words. I should have trusted you, he admitted, his voice barely a whisper. I should have told you everything, but I thought that if I did, it would only make things worse. The silence between us was deafening. Every word he said only left me with more questions. What was he protecting me from? What had he done that was so dangerous, so dark, that it was worth walking away from everything we had? Developing suspense. I took a deep breath, trying to control the whirlwind of emotions in my chest. What's going on, Max? What happened that was so bad you couldn't tell me? That you thought I'd be safer without you? Max hesitated. His eyes darted around the cafe, as if he were looking for an escape, as if he was searching for a way to avoid answering the questions I was asking. But I wasn't going to let him off the hook this time. I had spent years wondering, years missing him, and I wasn't about to let him leave again without getting the truth. He stepped back, his hand running through his hair, his face strained. I can't go into all the details, he said, his voice tight. But there were people I got involved with, people who didn't want me to leave. They were dangerous, and when I realized how deep I was in, I thought the best thing I could do was cut myself off from everything and everyone I cared about. That meant you too. You left me, because of them. I whispered, the weight of his words settling heavily in my chest. He nodded, his eyes haunted. Yes. I thought I could handle it. I thought I could keep you out of it. But when things started getting worse, I realized I couldn't protect you. So I walked away. I had to. I could see the torment in his eyes, the way his hands clenched at his sides, as though he was physically restraining himself from doing something he might regret. He really thought he was doing the right thing. I don't know if I can believe you, I said, my voice trembling with the conflicting emotions inside me. How can I trust that you're telling me the truth now? How do I know that everything you're saying isn't just another excuse? Max's eyes softened, and he reached out, his hand trembling as he gently touched my arm. I know I don't deserve your trust. I don't expect you to just forgive me, but I need you to understand that I never stopped thinking about you, Sophia. I never stopped loving you, and I couldn't live with the guilt anymore. I had to come back and tell you the truth. I owe you that much. The words hit me like a ton of bricks. He loved me, the same man who had left without a word, the man who had shattered my heart, was now standing here, telling me that he loved me, and that he had been trying to protect me. All these years, I closed my eyes, trying to process it all. My mind was a mess, but my heart was screaming at me to listen. Could I forgive him? Could I believe in him again? Dialogue and inner thoughts. I wanted to reach out to him, to forgive him and hold him close like I had so many times before. But something inside me held me back. What if I let him back in, and he hurt me again? His eyes searched mine, as if pleading for me to understand. I'm not asking you to forgive me right now, but I want to prove to you that I'm not the same person I was before. I'm here, Sophia, and I'm not leaving. Not this time. My chest tightened. The love I had once felt for him was still there, buried deep inside. But was it enough to overcome the hurt? Could I trust him again after everything? I don't know, Max, I said quietly, my voice barely above a whisper. I don't know if I can ever forgive you. You left me when I needed you the most. You didn't even give me a chance to fight for us. Max reached for my hand, his fingers trembling as they brushed against mine. I know, he said softly, and I'm sorry, but I can't change the past. All I can do is be here now. I can't promise things will be easy, but I swear, I'm going to spend the rest of my life making it right. I stared at him, my heart torn between the love I still felt for him and the fear that letting him back in would only leave me broken again. Max's hand remained gently resting on mine, but the connection we once shared felt distant, strained by the years of silence and the secrets between us. I could feel his pulse under his skin, racing as though he too was desperately waiting for the moment where the truth would finally come to light. "I know it's hard to believe," Max began, his voice soft yet filled with a depth I hadn't heard before. "But everything I did, everything I didn't do, was all to protect you. I never wanted to hurt you. I thought that if I stayed, I'd drag you into the same mess I'd created. But I was wrong. I was so wrong." I squeezed his hand, unsure whether I was looking for comfort or bracing myself for what was to come. "Then tell me everything, Max," I said, my voice trembling. "Tell me what you were running from, what you got involved in. All these years, I waited for you. I waited for an explanation, and you owe me that." He closed his eyes, running his free hand through his hair in a nervous gesture. When he opened them again, his gaze locked with mine unwavering, full of the remorse that had followed him all these years. "There's no easy way to say this," he said, his voice strained. "The people I got involved with, they weren't just dangerous, Sophia. They were criminals. And I was deep in debt to them, caught up in things I didn't know how to get out of. They controlled everything in my life, my choices, my freedom. And at the time, I thought that if I stayed with you, they would come after you. They would hurt you just to get to me. I couldn't let that happen. I couldn't risk losing you. So I left. I thought if I cut myself off from everything and everyone, they'd stop looking for me." Max's words left a hollow ache in my chest. For so many years, I had blamed myself for the loss of our love. But now, hearing his confession, it was clear he hadn't left because he didn't love me. He had left because he had been terrified, trying to protect me from a world I never even knew existed. "But why didn't you tell me then?" I whispered, my heart aching, as I absorbed the weight of his words. "Why leave me with nothing but silence? You could have trusted me, Max. You could have told me the truth. And maybe, just maybe, I would have understood. We could have faced this together." Max's face crumpled as he exhaled deeply, regret etched into every line of his features. "I thought I was doing the right thing. I was afraid if you knew, you'd be in even more danger. And I couldn't live with the thought of you being hurt because of me." Tears welled up in my eyes, the gravity of everything we had lost settling over me. He hadn't left me because he didn't love me. He had left because he thought that was the only way to keep me safe. I felt a knot form in my throat, choking on the emotions that threatened to overwhelm me. "And now?" I asked, my voice breaking. "What do you expect from me now, Max? All this time, I've lived with the pain of your absence, thinking I wasn't enough for you. Thinking you didn't love me anymore. I never stopped loving you," he said quickly, his voice full of emotion. "Not for a single second. I know I can never undo what I did. But I swear to you, Sophia, I'm here now, and I'm not running anymore. I'll do whatever it takes to show you the truth." The room seemed to shrink around us, the tension palpable, each word hanging in the air like a weight we could neither escape nor ignore. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to rush into his arms and feel the love we once shared. But part of me, the hurt part, was terrified. Could I truly trust him again after all this time? Could I forgive him for leaving without explanation, for breaking my heart, and for keeping so many secrets? Cliffhanger or resolution? Max reached for me, his hand gently cupping my face, his thumb brushing away the tears that had silently begun to fall. I wanted to pull away, to protect myself from the vulnerability I felt, but I couldn't. His touch was everything I had longed for all these years. The warmth of his palm against my skin felt like a forgotten memory coming back to life. "I don't expect you to forgive me right away," Max whispered, his voice thick with emotion. I know it's going to take time, but I'm here now. I'm not going anywhere. The pain of everything I had endured over the years, the loneliness, the questions without answers, came rushing back in a flood. I had spent so long convincing myself that I didn't need him, that I was better off without him, that deep down, I knew I was still in love with him. I had never stopped loving him, but was it enough? Could I let go of the past and forgive him? I closed my eyes, trying to calm the storm in my heart. Max, I began, my voice barely a whisper. I don't know if I can forgive you. I don't know if I can trust you again. The years you've been gone, they've changed me. Max's face softened, and he pulled me into a gentle hug, his arms enveloping me, as though he was afraid I might slip away. I don't need you to forgive me right now. All I want is a chance to prove that I'm not the man who walked away from you. I'm not that person anymore. But I can't change what happened. All I can do is be here. And if you can ever trust me again, I'll spend the rest of my life showing you how much you mean to me. I closed my eyes, leaning into his embrace. I wasn't ready to make a decision, not yet. But for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel alone. And that feeling, that glimmer of hope, was all I needed to take the first step. I'm not saying yes, I said quietly, my voice muffled against his chest. But I'll listen. We'll figure this out together. But you need to be completely honest with me, Max. No more secrets. Max nodded, holding me even tighter. I swear to you, no more secrets. For the first time in years, I allowed myself to feel hope. Maybe we couldn't undo the past. Maybe the future wouldn't be perfect. But for the first time in a long time, I wasn't running from him or from us.